So I have a web browser here, so I'm going to enter in the URL. Actually, I already entered it. So it's this URL, teachablemachine.withgoogle.com. And you could put the camera there. And I'm going to enter that URL. And it brings me to this page. You see it's integrated with a few libraries over here, including ml5.js and p5.js, which is the ones that I want to use right now. So this is like the first time I've ever used ml5.js. Well, I did use it in the ukulele tuner though, but and the random number generator. But this is the first time that I'm actually using ml5.js from scratch. So I'm quite excited here. All right, let's get started. I already know about this stuff. Okay, over here I have, so I could choose between image project, audio project, and pose project. So more coming soon, but I'm gonna choose image project.
Not a pose project?
I'm not gonna choose pose project, and the reason why I'm not gonna choose pose project is then the post project will actually remove some of the information about my pose. It will just keep the positions of my main body parts. So it will not keep the it will keep the information of both of my hands, but they'll be in the same spot. I don't want to use poses. I'm going to
okay.
So it brings me to this page.
This is after you click that you choose images.
Yes. So it brings me to this page, and there are 3 steps. So the first step is this step here. So you can see over here, class 1 and class 2. Right now, Teachable Machine will assume that I have at least 2 classes. I'm going to have 9 classes. The point is, why are you classifying images if you don't have at least 2 things to classify between? So I'm not going. So that's a fair point. So what I'm going to do is I can use the webcam, or I'm going to upload. Now actually I got a little camera here. That's a new thing. But when I actually, so I'm actually going to use the webcam, right? Because I don't really have images yet. So I'm gonna choose a webcam. This is like my favorite moment ever. Oh no. Anyway, I figured out the error. So my error was, so I was just about to plug out the camera and switch to the laptop, but it was a very simple error. You might have come across this error if you've used some sort of, if you've used OBS before, this might be a familiar error. Basically, I already have a camera, something that's reading the camera, and only one thing can read the camera at a time. So I don't know why, but only one thing can read the camera at a time. So.
And Teachable Machine website was saying that camera access is denied somehow.
So I think it's because of this, because this is trying to access the camera. So I'm going to close this. So now I'm going to access the Teachable Machine website again. Yes!
Now it's working.
Now it's working. And I might notice something weird here. Look. This is, well, me, but I'm mirrored. And I wasn't mirrored when I was looking at the camera. And the reason why is for me to, like, you know, when I'm looking at here, and this is getting at the problem of why do mirrors flip horizontally. And the reason why mirrors flip horizontally is because you flip them horizontally, right? Because you stand mirror side. And so yeah, you that's why it looks backwards, because it's not actually backwards. It's just you flipping them horizontally. So it's not the mirror, it's you flipping them horizontally. This camera actually does it so that it looks like when I hold up my hand on the left side, it looks to me as though it's on the right, whereas that's not true in a mirror. So this is actually making it so that it's a mirror. It's like a mirror. So if I hold up, like there's my hand on the left, and there's my hand on the left also. So the first thing is just going to be standing still doing nothing. Now, actually, for some of these, I'm going to end up using both of my hands. And the reason... And the way I fixed that problem is, well, actually, I have this hold to record button. And if I hold to record, it will add image samples. It says what the button does. What I could do is I could go to the settings and turn that off. And now I get this delay and duration. What this is going to do now it says give me a 2-second delay. So it will, when I click this button, a 2-second timer will be activated, and when it ends, it will start recording for 6 seconds. And so instead of me just holding to record, because sometimes for me holding to record is not enough because I need to use both my hands for some of the poses. So that was a long way of saying this. This is going to be useful to me, this button. Okay. So I'm going to pick my own name. I'm going to call this button nothing. And the reason why it's nothing is because I don't want to do anything. I'm just going to stand very still. It has to pick one of them. So it has to pick one of the classes. So I want one of the classes to be to do nothing. So I'm going to just stand very still. Why is the camera so dark? Ah, there we go. So I'm going to stand very still, and I'm going to record 6 seconds. I just stand very still. I moved around to add variety to my data, but I added a class for nothing. Now I'm going to add a class for first quadrant. So the number of the first quadrant, if you remember it. First quadrant. And I'm going to hold up my hand right here in the first quadrant and move it around so that it knows that this is the first quadrant. So I'm going to get rid of this, and I'm going to add image samples here. I'm going to record 6 seconds. Okay, so I held up my hand in various places in the first quadrant. Let's do a few more of these. Let's do second quadrant, third quadrant, fourth quadrant also. So I'm going to add a class. Second quadrant. Right now I'm just going to do 3 quadrants, and then I'll scale up. So I'm going to say second quadrant. 6 samples of this. Now, I have 3 classes. Ultimately, I'm going to have 9. But what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna just see if it works with 3 classes, and then I'm gonna see if it works with 9. So I'm gonna train the model. It's preparing the training data.
Don't switch tabs.
Don't switch tabs. And the reason why is it's happening right here. The training process is happening right here in the browser, and I don't want to interrupt it by switching the tab because then it will deactivate that tab. Okay, now let's test it out. Nothing. Let's try this. First quadrant. Second quadrant.
Look at that. Let's see if I stand there. Does it recognize Simon?
Yes.
Wait
it
a
recognizes
second.
it if my mom stands there.
Okay, this is nothing.
And it says first quadrant. Second quadrant. No, it doesn't work because we
Wait a
have
second,
space,
but you're standing next to me. Maybe you should like not be.
Come out of the page. Nothing. And then hold up your. Wait, higher, higher, higher. Yeah, now it says first quadrant. And now if I do this, it says second
It's recognizing.
First quadrant takes some work, but maybe I need better training data.
If we change your shirt, let's just one more experiment.
I don't want to because I'm going to add some more classes, and I'm gonna. Fourth quadrant is not so good. First quadrant, second quadrant, third quadrant. Let's retrain it.
What?
Before it was just like this or like this. I'm adding a more significant difference now. So it's like this and like this.
So you sort of half listened to my advice.
Second quadrant. Okay. If you're wondering, by the way, if you're wondering what that some number of 50 means, that's the epochs, which means that it's giving all of my examples, all my samples, to the thing one at a time. Each time it gives all of my samples, that's an epoch. So it's going to be 50 epochs there. Okay, nothing. First quadrant, second quadrant, third quadrant. First quadrant, second quadrant, third quadrant, fourth quadrant, third quadrant, first quadrant, nothing.
Let me do it.
Okay!
Let me do it.
Okay, this is awesome. Now let me add 4 more classes. 4 plus, minus, times, divide.
Okay.
Those are my hands forming a plus sign, a minus sign, a times sign, and a divide sign. I could do this for a divide, but that's not very...
But why don't you?
Okay, so, minus takes some work to do. Takes the most work, even though it has the most training examples. Yeah, now it's nothing.
And the times?
The times is actually doing quite good.
Well, I see it's still confusing with the plus.
Still. Wait, if I. Yeah.
This is the times and the plus?
The plus is working quite
Oh, look, it's working. So the only trouble you're experiencing with the minus. Maybe you should change the gesture for the minus.
This is the only real symbol for minus. So the point of this is I'm showing the symbols with my hands. So I might just like show pieces of paper, but I think this will work. Minus takes some work. Let's look at one of these. Minus is really confusing.
Maybe you should make sure that your arm is more like occupying the whole screen. Oh, now it thinks it's a plus because I'm zooming in. Like, you know what I mean?
I think I should hold it in exactly the right spot. Yeah, minus now works. If I hold it exactly here, then it works.
Let me see if it works for me.
What I'm gonna do is I'm gonna go recollect minus. So I'm gonna remove all samples from minus. I'm gonna turn this off. I'm gonna collect a few more seconds. Perfect.
I think you should have closed your face with your hands or something for minus. Like this. This would have been very recognizable.
Yeah, but I think that would make minus 2 recognizable. For the other classes, I mean, it gets worse. So minus, I've recollected the data and I retrained the model. And minus is actually now good. The bad news is the third quadrant isn't doing so good anymore. Back I am a few days later. So, what I have done, let me take all these bits of paper away only, but, my desk is full of stuff. But, back I am, 2 days later, actually, because, I got some weird results last time with the training, and I discovered this advanced thing which lets me change things about the training process itself. So one thing I can change is the number of epochs, so the number of times that I feed everything all of the training data into the neural network, the batch size, which is how many images are used in one iteration of training, and the learning rate, which if choosing a smaller learning rate would make it learn longer, but with finer adjustments, if that makes sense. But that's.
So this is what you're gonna try out? Playing around with all these settings?
Yes, first I need to collect my data though, so I'm gonna go to my webcam. So I just discovered that once it's before it's feeding the images into the neural network, it actually crops it to the image that the neural network actually wants. So that's something. Now let's record 6 seconds of samples. First quadrant, second quadrant, third quadrant. Oh, that was very sharp. You can see over there. Whoa. Fourth quadrant.
Good results.
Yeah, fourth quadrant is a little bit malfunctioning, but we can change it later. plus minus. Minus is a bit malfunctioning, as before. Times. It's competing with divide. Yeah, times is really good. And divide is also really good. Minus seems to be a bit malfunctioning. Let's record some more image samples of me doing minus. That was good. Minus is also very good. Times is very good. Divide takes a bit of work, but
I think it's very good.
This model is very good.
You've got a good model, man.
Yay! Now here's the problem. I need to now implement this in my Make 24 game. Somehow.
And how do we do that? Export the model? And then you get a URL, right? You explained to me.
Yeah, let's turn this off. So you can see it froze. Now let's export the model. Now I get this window. Look at this strange window. What is this window actually exactly?
You get a shareable link.
You either get a shareable link or I can download it as a file.
Yeah. Code snippets to use your model, and here you go, P5.js.
Yeah, I could do it in JavaScript, or I could do native JavaScript or P5. JS. So we're gonna. So all these use TensorFlow JS, but this also uses P5 and ml5. So I'm gonna go to P5. Right now, it doesn't actually say any put a URL in there, but what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna upload my model. It's gonna upload it to their servers. Now I have a shareable link over here. Now I could start with a P5.js code snippet over here. And I could just do this. But I'm actually not going to do that. I already have this sketch that I'm working on. I can open it up directly in the P5.js web editor. But I already have a sketch. This Make 24 game. Then I'm gonna.
But can't you use some of this code to just add it to your existing code?
But I'm gonna try to do it from scratch because I don't know. That's what Daniel did. I'm going to in his video. So I'm going to actually do it from scratch. So what I'm gonna do. Where's my? Oh, there's my P5. It's opened up. Is it on sketch? Yes. So let's make it a font size that's preferable for me. Okay, so you can see what happens. You can see over here, I have, what it does is it gives us this grid with 4 quadrants where I can give it games. So I'm going to make a new level 1 game, say. And then I could select any number by pressing a key, which is about to change. And then I can press any operation. So let's say plus that, and then we'll do that. And then the goal is to get to 24. Let's make a new level 2 game to make it a bit more exciting. Actually, no, let's make it a new level 1 game. Yeah, this is exciting. This is exciting too. I could do, I don't know, you could do this and this, say.
So what are we going to do to implement the teachable machine model?
So first things first, the most obvious thing is, well, P5 doesn't have any machine learning capabilities. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to import this library called ml5, which will, now I could just find the link, but I think I already have that over here.
So couldn't we just close
Ah, there we
stuff?
go. Let's copy that link.
Simon, shouldn't we
Let's
just close
open-
some tabs? I'm afraid it's going to freeze or something.
Maybe we should, but right now let's just try it this way. So I'm going to put this thing, which will import ml5, which will have machine learning capabilities, I think. Now, so now I need to add a function called preload to my sketch, which loads my model. Thankfully, I actually already have a preload to load the levels for the puzzle. So I think what I could just do is, actually wait, let's cut this just so that I have, let's save this. And then I'm gonna duplicate this. I wanna make a version of it, just a different version, make 24 ml5. Now you can see I have that script tag. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to make a new model. So I'm going to say let's model. Now model is actually a built-in keyword. Let's just make it called image model equals, and then how do I load a model? I could say ml5. I'm going to use ml5 dot ml5 dot image classifier. Image classifier. And then I'm going to need to paste in my model URL. So I'm going to copy this. It's copied. Paste that. Now I have a image classifier from ml5 that I could use. Let's just check that this is working so I don't get any errors. No, I don't. Okay, so let's... oh, another thing that I'm going to need is a video. So, because I'm going to need the video from the... I'm going to need the video from the webcam over here. Okay, so I'm going to call that video. And the way to make a video in P5 is to say, let's create capture video, all caps. Okay, so this is the way to make a video in P5 from the webcam. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to say, I'm going to size the video. So I'm going to say video dot, actually no, ml5 will resize it for me, so this might actually not be necessary. Let's actually, just to see that this is working, instead of drawing over here, instead of drawing the background, let's draw the video, the video is actually just an image that's changing over time, so I can just say image, video, and I want to put in an XY. The top left corner is going to be the top left corner of the whole canvas. Ugh! Okay, so you can see I have this space over here. So, by the way, I blocked access to the webcam, so we need to change that. I have this space. Why is there a space? That's because create capture is actually part of the P5 DOM library, because the video will actually appear as a separate DOM element on the canvas. So I need to hide that. So I'm going to say, to hide the actual DOM element, I have to say video.hide. And this will hide the DOM element video. Let's see if this works. Okay, it's a bit big. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna make it a bit smaller. So I'm gonna say video.size. Let's make it, and the size of the canvas is 480 by 360. So let's just make the video size 480 by 360. Yes, you can see now I have the video. That's kind of crazy over here. So I have my video over here. Now let's see if I can get a game going. This is great. Just have like a...
This is so much fun.
That's funny. Okay. Now, actually, let's worry about this later. Let's worry about this later. I know that this is not going to work just straight away, because there's something I need to add in this part as well. But let's just move on. Why not to classifying the video using ml5? So the actual classification happens with the model. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to say ml5 and then I need to have a function to classify it, which is called, well, classify. And then I need to classify, well, there is an option to actually just classify an image that we got from somewhere else. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to need to actually pass in what we're classifying. So we're going to classify the video. And then what are we going to classify it with? We're going to classify it with the model, which is called image model. So, the next thing that I need to do, I need a callback. By the way, let's look at ml5 classify. So, ml5 classify, because I think this might actually not... actually, let's look at the reference. The ml5 reference. I'm not sure what the classify function is. By the way, this is the first time I've ever used ml5 from scratch, so that's why I don't really know much. Image classifier, there we go.